Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's gathering meditation. There are new interesting energetic waves that we are encountering, and from the 18th to the 28th, there's this window of you retreating into yourself, and also Um, I would agree with Jason Estes that as the old realities, old timelines are dismantling, but they're really gradually dismantling, then we can, I don't know why, but I was really called to his call to note down how does your how would your reality be looking like in 50 years, 100 years, 1,000 years? Because our notion of time, longevity, our the amount of years we can live is all changing. We can note down how you envision this new world, the new humanity. It's obviously not just a fifth dimensional being, because we can never, it's a very good point, but that you cannot just be in the fifth dimension. You are in all dimensions at all times because you're consciousness and you are being. So being is everywhere and it's everything, just like consciousness is. And it just depends on what signals are you picking up and emitting, because essentially we are the scalar machines. We are well, I don't really like to call the body a machine. That's a very kind of renaissance thought. um we are really magnificent vibrational holograms that can tune themselves to all kinds of levels of emanation, from the lowest to the highest, which is a truly magnificent ability. And imagine that within pure consciousness, a consciousness that had
Esther, I completely lost your sound. I don't know. Can anybody, can everybody else hear Esther?
so others can hear me.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Well, it might be my computer. I'm going to try to log on something else. Sorry, guys. Sorry for interrupting you.
Okay, it's fine. um it's a very good point to see that in pure consciousness there's not much evolution as such, because uh, there's no movement. And as we are actually signing up for this state of density and duality, we are able to go through experiences and chisel our seeing, our openness, our expansion, and there is no other purpose to our life. It is just to move from one state to a more expanded state. And today I'm again called to revisit this basic tenet of the Vedas, that true consciousness, the real nature of consciousness or reality, not consciousness, but reality is Sat Chit Ananda. And it's translated in many ways, Sat Chit Ananda. So Sat would be beingness, some would translate it as truth. Chit is the mind of God, that everything is actually an emanation of the mind of God, which is you. So the chit is consciousness, the chit. We also have a chitta, which is the conglomerate of your mind space. Uh, it is like hardware where all the data is gathered. That is your chitta, and that chitta, through our work, is being dismantled slowly. It's released, neutralized, because the chitta, the content of that mind space, which is not just your brain, it's also your cellular memory. But as it's being slowly dismantled, it's giving more and more space to neutrality, contentment, in order to get to the state of chitta vritti nirodha. And it also tells us that the chitta vrittis, and you see this so clearly recently, I just talked to my sister about it, how these thought loopings, you could call them also energetic looping, which is also the ego's identificatory mechanisms that gives you a sense of a separate self, that you are somebody in in a world and you're doing something, which is actually identifying you as a separate being. So the chitta vrittis, which are whirling thought impressions, come to a halt, which then comes to chitta vritti nirodha. Yes. And the basis of our evolution is just that. There's no more to it. That's when transgression really takes place, where these mind, which is also energetic fluctuations in the field, fully sees, and then that which you truly are, the self, the truth self, unveils itself. As soon as you get to chitta vritti nirodha, and we do get there many times during the day. It's just we miss it, we miss it, we miss it. And in a gathering such as this, we give a space, we create a container through which we we are able to stay in this state of harmony. And that state of harmony has many nuances. It can all come all the way to the level of bliss, which would be the third element of the nature of reality, which is ananda. So the basic true aspect of reality is beingness, consciousness, and bliss. Now, this bliss is misunderstood in many ways. It also has gradations. You can also tap into this exalted bliss states, or bliss can just be this basic foundational contentment that is non-judgmental. It is focused, ekagra, focused, and it's always present. And whatever it tries to overlay it, overshadow it, is the unreality, is the untruth. And I'm not saying anything new, I'm reiterating so that we can abide longer and longer, and also notice whenever we just fall into this state of chitta vritti nirodha, which is when the constant energetic fluctuations, maybe they don't even come to a halt, but your consciousness actually peels itself away from them and falls into this expansive beingness. And the beingness itself is contentment, it's wisdom, it's discernment. It has a multitude of characteristics. And that is your original nature. And that contains the answers to everything. That is also your inner guru, the teacher that we are all seeking. It's inside you. And the longer you can abide there, you're being trained. You're being trained to just dissolve in this sea of yourself. And then life becomes a possibility to be lived as a sea and as a drop. But the drop had recognized its true nature. So far, we are walking around as drops, not recognizing our oneness with the sea. Or for moments we recognize and then we fall out of that knowing being. And that is the human life. That is transcending. And think about it. That's why Kriya Yoga is so revolutionary, is that it takes sometimes many lifetimes to transcend different being and polishing in different through our reality, through different chakras, because as I said many times, that chakras are different planes of existence, different plateau of existence, and sometimes we're stuck in one or two or three chakra levels. We fluctuate among them as you live, so you can identify, where are you fluctuating in? Is it all of your existential fear, survival, feeling of unsafety, securing your existence? Are you battling that? Is it the sexuality, self expression, or the lack of it? Do you have enough sexual force, life energy, curiosity? Or are you lacking in all of these? It doesn't matter. It's really irrespective of age. It has nothing to do with age. And then our control, Are we suffocating our life with control, controlling our environment, controlling our body, controlling our eating, controlling our everything? Or is there a gradual easing into the depth of the moment? And that is called for moment to moment, this gradual easing into life. Because your consciousness is penetrating you so intimately. And whenever we have anxiety, fear that we have to control, or we have to surpass, or we have to achieve, then what we are doing is we are trying to modulate from a very limited bandwidth, this limitless power that is you. And life essentially is about truly letting go of the reins that mainly these lower three chakras are imposing on our reality. Slowly peeling, I always call, I love this word of peeling away all of these tentacles through which these three chakras, which are levels of reality, are seeping into our moment to moment experience of reality. So let us do that, peeling away and abiding in this expansiveness of Satchit Ananda. And today I call for the inquiry of what is happiness. Because happiness is every single soul's objective. Happiness. We call to connect to our higher self. I am presence. Mother, Father, God. And start zooming in on your higher heart, which is at the top of the sternum, at the middle of your body, top of your sternum. This is the seed atom. When I asked dear Mother, Father, God to oversee and overlight this transmission, co-creation, healing, and we ask Mighty I Am Presence to remove any and all overlays, miasma, implants, everything and anything that is dimming our pure access to our highest home frequency. So just notice that we're becoming tuning forks, We're tuning ourselves to our highest home frequency, which is very, very unique to each one of us. We're unique souls, but we're one in the sea. Of being consciousness bliss. The gradations of the Supreme Self. We need to word these states of being. We need to give it words to communicate. But the truth becomes truth once all words cease to be uttered. Today, the practice is to tune ourselves in this 3D reality, which is just a very minuscule experience from the whole. Just notice how your limitless consciousness, to what degree is it rigidly idling, identifying only with the 3D reality. 3D, there's nothing wrong with it. I asked now the tuning process to start aligning us with the organic matrix. Imagine the matrix. It's not negative. We play as the mind of God. You are the mind of God. We play through different matrices. We create different matrices to align with different experiences in order to expand the soul's learning. I ask to align with the organic matrix and the highest soul frequency of each body, mind, soul complex. Feel it's already happening. As you're dropping into your higher heart at the top of the sternum, just see this is that fire spark of the spirit. It's directly connected to the heart on the right. We're going to expand this through the 5 sheaths that make up your immediate body hologram. Sheaths, you can imagine them as different layers of your skin. So just we're attuning to this very, very pure, high vibrational pulsation of your seed atom. It has the quality of the crystalline white golden ascension ray. It contains all the rest of the rays, colors. And the rays are the different modalities, qualities of your consciousness. Just feel we're going to now start expanding into the food body, Annamaya Kosh. Kosha is the seat, the layer, the food body, which means your physical body, which is mostly made up of the food you eat. But we eat very many types of food, not just what we actually ingest in our mouths. But the food is our thought, what we watch, read, our environment is all the food. Prana is the food. So the seed atom is reactivating our 12-strand DNA. The body is energy. We're concentrating now on the food body, which is the immediate body, physical body, its cellular structure, and the subatomic particles. They start harmonizing with the highest frequency of our spirit. Notice that your heart on the right is directly connected to all that is. This is that space, that little seed atom. You're always connected to all that is, which is the Supreme Self. And the Supreme Self had fragmented itself into these body, mind, spirit emanations that you call yourself. We're cleansing, clearing, and harmonizing the physical body. And we can make the intention of now opening up all of our cells, subatomic particles, interstitial fluid, which is in the cell. The cells are in this fluid. It's now harmonizing in the quantum field, our highest soul frequency. So if your body is just energy and it's traversing all, all of the densities. Densities are qualities of one dimension, of the dimension you are in presently. Move deeper and deeper into this sat. This blinding light of your beingness, blinding light. Recognize yourself as the source of that blinding light. All of the cells start to receive this light. It doesn't just heal, it crystallizes, making every single cell in the physical body crystalline, Christ all line. You can feel this transmutation taking place. It's happening to us intrinsically. But when you're dropping deeper and deeper into this state of allowing neutrality, but at the same time, one pointedness, ekagra, this is where you are moving mountains, meaning you bring about the most radical change. The body, mind, spirit is adjusting to this frequency. Of your soul. It's a very high vibrational light. Removing all the calcifications in the physical body, from the third eye, around the bones, joints. It's cleaning the lymphatic system. I'm asking this purity of light. It's a very strong transmission. We have a lot of drained lymphatic system. I ask to reharmonize to its optimal state. Readjusting. What I'm being told is that we are being blessed to be one with the highest light, the highest being, consciousness, bliss. But as we signed up for this experience of separation in the body, living in this certain reality, bandwidth, we're encountering a lot of contrast. And because our minds are trained to be binary, moves between yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, like, dislike, like, dislike, like, dislike. Notice? Usually, this binariness is what blocks the light, blocks your direct access to your highest being. I am now asking for the restoration of the nervous system, and know that your nervous system has a physical attribute where, yes, you can learn about your nervous system from anatomy books. That's kind of like the mapping of the visible part of your nervous system, but your nervous system moves all the way to your into your energy body. We're now expanding also into the energy body, which is the prana maya kosh. Maya is still illusion. The sheaths are illusionary, just like reality. This supposed 3D reality is not truly there. From the point of view of the Supreme Self. Harmonizing the nervous system. Feel how your kidneys are being filled with light. your blood, is made crystalline, purified. Skin, renewed. The lung tissues renewed, the heart tissues, the digestive system, the reproductive system, the bone marrow, the skeleton. And we go into the pranamaya kosh. We work with these planes interchangeably sometimes. All of these very high vibrational light codes that are hitting the planet in the form of solar flares and also through the central sun and great central sun. We're also aligned with the Pleiades constellation, the Alcyon, right now, this point in time, XY time coordinate. Our nervous systems are experiencing higher than usual taxation because of the high frequency light merging with you. We're expanding the seed atom, your higher heart, into the pranamaya kosh. I'm asking for the full restoration of the aura, mending of the aura, any cracks, and here you can say, I call all of my power back to me, all of my energy. We're sealing off any and all cracks, leaks, disconnecting all of the hooks, cords, cordings, anything, anyone. You can decide if you're ready to do that or feed into something that drains you. Removing all the cords, cordings, hooks from the solar plexus. All the energetic miasma overlays, implants are now dissolving. It's pulsating, pulsating into the pranamaya kosh. And then we expand our seed atom higher heart. to the Manomaya Kosh, which you would call the mind and energy, mind and emotional body. Mind and emotional body. Neutralizing collective fear, collective chaos, collective hopelessness, collective rage, which is fear. To see, I almost see our bodies vomiting it out. Know that not all thoughts are yours. Mostly, 90% of the time, they're not yours. They're yours insofar as vibrationally you align to certain thoughts, feelings, emotions. And now I ask for the healing of the ingrained, very ingrained looping, hurtful thoughts that are connected to deep emotional trauma. In the Manomaya Kosh. It's dismantling. And you can ask yourself, are you ready to let go of your deep hurt from all lifetimes, timelines, spaces, here and now? So it is. I am ready. So be it, so it is. I am ready. In the collective right now, we're neutralizing very deep pain of the masculine, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. Very deep pain. So that it can unite in this bliss of the hierogamic unity of your soul. The soul is the divine feminine and masculine in its highest love, light, wisdom, will. It's that simple. I ask for the integration, the healing, of the polarities. Do you feel as we are entering deeper and deeper into the sheaths, there's a deeper and deeper peace, harmony, contentment arising as your natural being, as your birthright? Recognize and abide. That is the beingness of the Supreme Self. Now we are cleansing, expanding the higher heart into the Vidyanamaya Kosh, the wisdom body, the discernment, the inner guru, which is oneness with your soul. Releasing all the second guessing, releasing confusion from the collective field, releasing overlays, miasma, energetic manipulation, spells, hooks, vibrational cages, negative AI, the overlays over the third eye, any and all throat blockages, I ask for the implementation of our ability to be one with our inner guru, inner teacher, the Atma Kriya, the knowing of your truth, the knowing of yourself, knowing of your true self as Sat Chit Anand. And notice now, as we're entering the sheath of the Ananda, pure bliss, the ego can have some expectation. Release them. Ananda is always present. That is the quality of your spirit, always in harmony, contentment, enjoying It is so vast. This sheath is so vast, so luminous. It's still the Maya, okay? Still illusion, but it's so vast. It transcended most of the density, most of the illusion, most of the densification of energy. Notice it's still in this form of the fractalization of the Supreme Self. As this is being pierced through the purity of the Supreme Self, it's being penetrated by the luminescence of the 10,000 suns. Most of the time, we shrink our power, we shrink our lives, we shrink our consciousness because knowing our true being entails the dissolution of all limitations. That's when you dissolve all the sheets of Maya. Maya is the goddess, the illusion manifest. And now I call for our expansiveness and allowing of the grace of our Supreme Self. Feel how this crown of yours opens up and it allows the highest frequency of the Supreme Self. Actually, it's beyond any frequency. To dissolve the difference between you and that. The difference between you and that. That is true meaning of penetration. The true meaning of transmission. As the highest heart becomes the only reality, the original seed atom merges with the ocean, with all that is. We're receiving a very deep heart healing. Healing all of these aspects of transmigration of the soul from lifetime to lifetime. Stand still. I ask, and you can ask if you're courageous to remove any and all blocks, egoic walls, granties, karmic knots that obstruct our ability to dissolve the purity of love, being, consciousness, ecstasy, or bliss. Healing the originary heartache. And that is that illusionary, the illusion of the moment where you dropped into separation. It's a very painful moment. You would call it dropping out of grace, Literally, you were dropping into density. And what needs to be healed, your soul knows this, so be very attentive. What needs to be healed? The illusion that you dropped, the illusion that there's pain, and the illusion that there's a separate you. And recognize the utter impossibility of the drop being separate from the ocean. So it is. So be it. So it is. So it is. Once again, this recognition is instantaneous. The Supreme Self is here right now. And the knowing of that transmutes heaviness into lightness. A tool is being given to you. In these trying times, as we are adjusting to a higher vibratory field, every time you feel anxiety, feeling of lostness, chaos, indecision, contractedness, confusion. Drop into the seed atom at the top of your sternum. And just visualize as it's expanding. And the technique is the following. There's the seed atom, which is the center of a circle. And that center starts expanding. And then it reaches the circumference of the circle, which then is ever expanding limitlessly as the sun's rays, the light of your consciousness. And every time you zoom into your own density, the limitedness, the separateness, you bring back your attention and focus to the seed atom and expand it. And do not be impatient. Sometimes the attention and focus needs to be reined in, and you patiently wait as you're abiding in the light. You're patiently allowing to expand. Do that over and over again, as much as you need to. Dissolving the limitation. And there's this very, very essential point that you see as you expand it right now. You are limitlessly expanded. And as the Supreme Being, you are all. You're everything. The final step is that you allow everything to be exactly as it is. Because everything is taking place inside you. The intensity, the fear, the pain, the joy, the curiosity, the expansion and the feeling of limitedness, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. All of that is taking place inside you. And you, the Supreme Self, allows everything to be exactly as it is.